Right, hello everyone. I'm just going to give you the demonstration linking with your Peter Blake squares. This week you are looking at creating not only a beautiful tonal eye drawing, but you are going to create an exciting background to go with it. So what I have got here on the demonstration, I have got two squares, both 10 by 10 centimetre squares already. I have a bottom square and a top square. I have also got a mirror at the ready to help me when I am drawing, and I have got some food colouring. Now you can use paint, inks, watered down paint, as I said, even nail varnish, anything to get creative, to have a bit of colour on your plate. So I am armed and ready, once I've done the demonstration of my eye drawing, to add a coloured background. So I've already put out food colouring onto a plate, which I will wash thoroughly. I have just got a glass of water, and I've got myself a brush again ready, and I've got some kitchen roll to mop up any mess. So my squares have been measured, 10 by 10 centimetre squares. I am now good to go. Once I've got that, I'm going to start my drawing of my eye. Now I have attached on the PowerPoint a detailed drawing of an eye from YouTube. So you can look at that as well as this tutorial quickly here. Now, for the purpose of the demonstration, I am just going to be focusing on drawing and talking to you. But when you are working, what you must do is prop up the mirror and have it angled so you can be looking at your mirror while you are working. Now my eye needs to fill as much of this piece of paper as possible. Not only this, I would like you to use a drawing pencil, so not an HB. We've talked a lot about the softness and hardness of a lead. HB is a generic in the middle lead. I have got a 4B pencil here that I am going to use. The 4B will allow me to get some really dark tones, and it actually will let it look a lot more 3D. Okay, so think about if you can find any pencils from B, 2B, 3B, 4B, all the way up to 6, 7, 8B, they are the ones that you're going to focus on. They're the ones that get you the nice dark drawing tones. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first upper lid. I look in my mirror, I glance, I know I want my eye to start here and I want it to end here. So I'm marking out, and already by having two markers, I know where I want to start and I know where I want to end. And I'm going to start sketching my eye, looking at the shape of my eyelid. Once I've got the shape of my eyelid, I can then look at the bottom eyelid. So I've got the tear duct, and then I've got the bottom of my eyelid. So that's the overall shape. It fills out the square well, I'm quite happy with it. And now I can get onto the upper eyelid. So I'm now going to look where it comes from, the shape of it. Some of you will see the eyelid more than others. Goes a little bit thinner here. Right, the upper eyelid. And now I'm going to add the tear duct. A lot of people often forget the tear duct. So I'm just going to add the tear duct. And I'm going to add the lower lid. Another thing that people forget very frequently is that lower lid. So I'm going to add that lower lid. Here we go. Change my hand accordingly. And I've added my lower lid. Once I have got that, I can then start adding my pupil. Now, don't do a tiny pupil floating in the middle of the eye. Think about, look in the mirror, look where your pupil is, look how large it is. And then slowly, while you're glancing back and forth, draw your pupil. And it should be really quite large. Then I have got my iris. And there we go, there's my pupil. There's the whole entire eye. I'm now going to have some very dramatic light shining. So I'm just going to mark out where that shine light hits and reflects in my eye. And now, once I've marked that out, I'm going to add the eyelashes. Now your eyelashes, the biggest tip I can give you is they curl away from the tear duct. They are not regimented straight lines. They curl away from the tear duct, and sometimes they cross over each other. They're a bit haphazard at times. So I'm just going to add, by looking in the mirror, slowly adding my eyelashes. Now, they start off longer at the edge, and as I'm looking more directly at them and they are straight on, they look like they're shorter. they are getting shorter and slowly they start petering out. So I've got the top eyelashes. You also have bottom eyelashes. So all of you will have bottom eyelashes. So exactly the same, not neat straight lines. They kind of are a bit more haphazard. I'm slowly adding all the eyelashes. Now I'm all ready to start adding my tone, and I could, if I wanted to, add a little bit more. I could add the eyebrow if I wanted to, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to focus on the eye, which we can then cut out. Now the eye, if you have a look at your eye, you tend to have all these cones that are in the eye tend to have sort of shapes that point towards the center, and it tends to have a very dark edge first of all. So what I would like you to do is, all of you, just to spend some time looking at your eye, looking and seeing where your dark tones are. Again, there's some more darker tones around the pupil, and slowly building up all the beautiful detail that your eye has. So I, for the purpose of this demonstration, will not spend again too long. I'll just go for very, very quickly so you can start seeing. I'm not drawing on where the shadow, the highlight hits my eye. I already marked that out. I'm slowly working away. The iris. Right, okay, so I've got my centre of my eye, a little bit of tone there, starting to come together. I would add a little bit more, but again, time is short. So what I'm going to do now is really think, oh, there's another little couple of bits of reflection here. Start shading. See how my 4B is so useful. I have got my 4B pencil here, and actually there's a little bit pale here, but I can get those beautiful dark tones. And there's those tones that you will need. Okay, it's those tones that you will need to make sure you can add them. Now, once you have got the centre of the eye, now in order for the eyelid to look like it's sitting on top of your eye, you need to have a shadow. That overhanging shadow is important because that's what makes the eyelid look like it is sitting on top of your eye. And again, very quickly, I start adding that detail, and already it's starting to look like it is sitting on top. So I'm just working my way around. I look at my tear duct. Again, there's light inside my tear duct, so I add a little bit of light, and I pick out the tones as well. So you can see every time I do a mark, every time I add a bit of shadow, it starts to look more and more realistic, and that is what you need to do. My eyelid, again, it's really quite dark here until the crease, and I start adding tone on the actual eyelid as well. So this is your task for part 1, and then part 2, once you have got your eye to a stage that you are happy with, and you think, yes, I'm happy with that, it is done, you can then move on, as I say, to the second stage. Now, I would, if it were me, spend a few more minutes really looking at my eye, checking, making sure I've got highlights, rubbing out areas if I'm not so happy with it, and just refining my work. But as we are cracking on, I'm going to leave it for now. There we go. And I'm going to move on to the next stage. Right, so the next stage is you're adding your coloured background. So what you are going to do is you are going to, let me move this up here. You are going to be adding your coloured background, whether it's through food colouring, whether it's through watercolour paint, even whether it's felt tip pen. I am simply going to get my brush and my water and my piece of paper, and I'm dipping my brush into the water, and I'm trying to saturate my piece of paper as much as possible. So just within those 4 lines, the 10 by 10 centimetres square, I'm saturating the square. Now, while the water is sitting on the surface, I'm going to get my food colouring, and I'm going to dip my brush in and simply start playing, and the water will carry the food colouring. So now I'm going to try a bit of green maybe. Add a bit of green. You want the colours not to mix too much because you don't want it murky, you want it nice and bright. This is a vibrant, oh that's a good one, the yellow. This is a vibrant piece of background which your eye will ultimately be cut out and stuck down. Now it will take this piece of paper a while to dry, and it's important that it is not moved too much while it is drying. So, oh, it's a bit dry there. Missed a little area, so I'm just going to go back and add. So you can see that I've got the contrast of a very bright dynamic background and a very controlled, beautifully observed square. When your coloured background square is dried out and you are happy with it, that can be cut out. When that is done, you can then cut out your eye drawing as well. Now, when you cut out your eye drawing, don't just cut very loose around the edges, cut into where you see the jaggedy edges where the eyelashes are roughly, and that will give a better 3D effect. And then you remove the drawing and you simply place it on top of your square. And you will get an amazing outcome, just like the examples I've shown on the PowerPoint. If you have any questions, please @ me and I will help you.